In Episode 2, Wash, Harry, and Maddie continue their struggle to survive in a cold boreal forest amidst social strife and external threats.
A wounded Imperial planetary miner by the name of Vitula has crashed within the confines of our territory. Wash has been dispatched to carry our guest to the safety of the compound to receive medical treatment.
Maddie wanders from the confines of the home base, flaunting her tenuous grasp on reality by surreally gliding over the fence. Wash, following closely behind, chooses to use the gate as intended. In a remarkable exhibition of strength, Wash effortlessly transports an 800-pound herd animal in a soldier carry.
The convalescing Muffalo is seen struggling in Harry's bedroom, while only feet away, Maddie slips into another psychotic wandering state, this time due to intense pain. Ray hurls herself upon the sleeping Muffalo, utilizing it as a makeshift bed.
Maddie meanders outdoors in a fugue state. She narrowly avoids another bout of hypothermia by suddenly making a reasonable yet uncharacteristic decision to sleep in her own bed rather than a freezing forest rife with apex predators.
Wash escorts the now healthy Muffalo from Harry's room back to the pen. He immediately turns to horseshoes, where he humiliates himself with a poor throw. Perhaps Wash was distracted by the two Muffalo mating in an obscure position within his direct line of sight. Thankfully, he was able to redeem himself with a ringer, just in time to flee the scene as Harry attempted to join him. Despite grappling with a crippling case of food poisoning, Harry apparently found herself unable to resist the siren call of the horseshoes.
While Maddie continues to wander in a psychotic state, Ray carries a Muffalo corpse into the freezer. The once majestic animal is now reduced to a mound of flesh that will surely result in multiple cases of food poisoning. Immediately following Maddie's remorseless murdering of Faulkner via a headshot, she attempts to coax a mourning and traumatized Saji into joining the colony.
Buzzing with inspiration after witnessing Maddie shooting Faulkner in the brain, Wash begins work on his next wooden sculpture. Here, Wash's next work, a small wooden sculpture of normal quality, is revealed. Wash has entitled this piece, A Maddie with Green. On this piece is an artwork of Matilda Maddie Baubel executing Gert Faulkner by eliminating her consciousness without emotion or expression. Maddie looks pleased with the situation. This illustration refers to Maddie slaying Faulkner on 15th of December, 5500.
A pair of club-wielding Neanderthals by the names of Black and Giraffe are attempting to raid us. Our colonists and Megasloth 1 attempt to intercept their treachery. Megasloth 1 promptly mauls the invaders as Harry gets in a few good shots from a safe distance. Maddie's accuracy left much to be desired, but thankfully Megasloth 1 did most of the heavy lifting. Heroically, Wash carried Giraffe's mortally wounded body back to the compound to administer emergency medical treatment, but to no avail, as Giraffe ultimately succumbs to her wounds, fated to join the others in the mass grave.
Blown away by the profundity and sheer artistry of the work, Harry decides to place Wash's masterstroke, a Maddie with green, on prominent display in the common dining area.
Saji is recruited into the colony, and immediately upon her release from the Harmony Hut, she walks by the statue which immortalizes the killing of Faulkner by the woman who just spent untold hours brainwashing her. Later that night, Saji proves her complete integration into the colony's culture by unwinding with a game of horseshoes while she disrobes her tattered shirt and hat. She's somehow able to disassociate from the heap of dying animals in the scene.
Despite his ideology's distaste for growing crops, Wash plants hay for the future feeding of the herd, hoping to avert another mass winter die-off. A bloodthirsty grizzly bear, which had been wandering a bit too close to our compound for comfort, is attacked in a preemptive safety measure. In a final drive for survival, it charges Harry while sustaining a hailstorm of bullets. After succumbing to its injuries, the bear is carried into the freezer where it becomes part of the questionable meat horde.
Maddie engages in a leisurely game of horseshoes while Wash toils away in the fields. Saji's discarded shirt remains in the scene.
Maddie snaps due to her lack of a burqa and headdress, causing her to displace her rage upon Harry by openly insulting her hands and mother. Harry attempts to turn the other cheek, but Maddie cruelly compares Harry to a condor, which proved to be a bridge too far. A fistfight breaks out, with Maddie missing every swing, while Harry lands several devastating blows. Saji then arrests an injured Maddie, placing her in a prison cell and stripping her of her role as preacher.
Axe offers to temporarily join our colonists as part of a cultural exchange program, offering labor, jade, and a telescope in return for their hospitality. Axe lands in a drop pod and is revealed to be a nudist with an annoying voice and a chemical fascination. Because Axe was a budding artist as a child, he relieves Wash from his art duty to allow him to spread his many talents elsewhere.
Saji is trapped in a vicious cycle of food poisoning, vomiting profusely while simultaneously attempting to make friendly banter about breakfast cereal with Harry and eating more food which is likely to worsen her condition. In an act of compassion, or perhaps a selfish ploy to assuage disgust, Harry promptly cleans after her. Unbeknownst to the two in the dining hall, Wash also pukes nearly at the same moment while administering medical treatment to Maddie in the aftermath of the catfight. Our colonists join together to witness Saji's ordainment as preacher. Megasloth 1 casually breezes through the scene. In an overt display of bitterness, Maddie attempts to skip out on the ceremony in order to cloud watch and brood. Realizing this would be social suicide, she begrudgingly drags her feet back to the dining area to witness Saji overtaking her former position. Following the event, Maddie briskly walks into the freezer, where I can only speculate that she ate her feelings with some salmonella-infected buffalo meat. As the gathering disperses, Axe's first completed art piece, Isolated Shell, is revealed, causing mixed reactions due to the sensitive subject matter. Isolated Shell. This piece represents Hadley Wash adding surface detail to a small sculpture, with a satisfied expression on his face. The small sculpture is intricately detailed. This representation refers to Wash completing work on a small sculpture on 4th of April, May 5501. As it turns out, Isolated Shell is a depiction of Wash creating a Maddie with green.
As Saji rides high from her newfound position of power, her old comrade Faulkner lies rotting in the earth. In a final irony, Faulkner has joined the colony by default in death.
Our colony stood strong in the face of intense social conflict, weathering a nasty catfight and the creation of inflammatory sculptures depicting tragic scenes. Additionally, they endured more physical ailments, such as the tandem puking incident, which occurred as a result of the ongoing food poisoning epidemic. In the midst of all of this, Fitula vacated the premises unceremoniously and without gratitude, which went completely unnoticed by the colonists. Will Wash finally gain relief for his long neglected chemical interest, or will he be thwarted by the greed of small woodland creatures? How will Maddie cope with the psychic damage of seeing Saji fulfilling her former role? Will Harry and Maddie's violent feud be commemorated in yet another controversial art piece? It all remains to be seen.